then I felt like I needed to get away from music altogether. You know, I felt like it wasn't serving the same thing it served early on for me. I felt like there were things happening and people doing things for money that, you know, you just shouldn't do for money, you know. You do this because you love it, you know, but you shouldn't screw over people or mess over people. And, you know, when you get older, you start seeing a lot of those things, you know, and I didn't like it. I didn't like it. So I got completely away from music. And I didn't do anything for a little bit. And then I started coaching my nephew's baseball team. And I really loved working with kids. Like I found a real joy out that, you know, you teach a kid how to stand up at the plate, how to hold a bat, how to swing a bat, and what to swing at and what not to swing at. And in a game situation, you watch that kid, he hits the ball, he does everything you taught him to do, and he hits the ball, and you're on first base as the first base coach, and he has a smile on his face from ear to ear. You know that is something you did that for this kid. And whether he remembers you 20 years from now, I know that this moment was special, and it was special because I taught him how to do something and he did it, and he's happy now. So I started working with kids, and I did that. I actually worked in a group home for a little bit. I was a counselor in a group home for a little while. Wow. And then I became an administrator, and I kind of ran the facility. I did that for a little bit. And then I moved on to working with disabled adults. And I ran a house for disabled adults for a little while. And again, this is one of those times where, you know, you're in a group and now you're on your own kind of, and you're doing your own thing. And you see how you're moving up constantly, and things are happening because of something that you're doing, and you have helped people, and you're helping people, and you realize how great you are. Like, so that's what I learned from that. Like, you know, you can do it yourself, G. Like you good, and not only you good, you're great. And the things that you're doing for other people is great as well. Like, you know, you're being effective in someone's life and making a difference in someone's life. So that became rewarding and itself. And you know, I felt great. I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about people. And I learned the skill of managing people, you know, and dealing with people day to day, and how to deal with people.
And it seems almost a reflection of what you were doing in the role you took on when you were with, you know, with the group, where, you know, making sure everyone was on point and stuff. But then it seems more rewarding, but it seems less glamorous when, you know, you get the music, the money, and all that stuff.
Yes.
Would you, and then I guess seeing Eddie was still doing his stuff, and Heavy was still doing stuff, but you didn't miss it, and you enjoyed, and you were fine with where you were.
Yeah, because like I said, it was my decision, and what I learned about myself and what I was learning and what I was doing, I was helping other people. You know, one thing about a troubled kid, you need to have consistency, and, you know, you need to be able to trust, you know. Without those things, a kid that's having a hard time can't really, you know, navigate when they can't trust a person. So I became that solid person. Like, wow. You know, if I had to deal with a kid, they knew what they were going to get from me. They knew what they weren't going to get from me. And they knew every time it was going to be the same thing. You know, if you act up, this is what you're going to get. But if you do right, this is what you're going to get. And it was great, because then they can trust you. And then if a kid is in crisis or having a hard time, I can talk to them and tell them the truth. And they get it, and they act accordingly, you know. But it was a different kind of reward, you know, much different. And it could be from week to week. You could see a change in a kid that is having a hard time, and then 2 weeks later, after you didn't talk to them and had some time with them, and now you see them doing better. You know that it's because you were, you know, effective in their treatment, or how you spoke to them, or how you handled them, or dealt with them.
Did they know that you? Did they know your background? Did they know you were? They
Not
must have.
at first, not at first, not at first. Did one of the counselors to say, he was da 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 da, and then they'd play a video or something and be like, but it's all a humbling thing. It's all very humbling, and I like to say that we were always humble. Like Heavy D the Boyz, we didn't have security. We weren't like a big entourage. Like we were just cool dudes that got along with everybody, and that's just who we were. So me being able to humble myself and do something different outside of the business with people that have seen me doing things and imitated, wanted to look like us or wanted to dance like us.
Yeah.
It was whatever. Like I had to take care of my family and to do that, so it was okay. And the job I was doing was rewarding. It was rewarding. So
Yeah. I mean, are you still in that environment now, or?
no, well, so like I was saying to you that the group I signed, Shades, back in '95, I think it was. One of the girls in the group's name was Shannon Williams. And what I took from Shannon Williams at that time was she was a hard worker. She was one of the people that would be in the studio and she had songs that she had written, but she would be in there really trying uh, uh, to work and show her talents as a writer. And I really, okay, you can write. So I had a guy that his name is Delight. He worked with Kenny Whitehead.
Okay.
They all worked together. Kenny Whitehead and Delight Allenby, Allaby, I think it is. But he's great. He did Janet Jackson and Busta Rhymes. He won a Grammy for that. He did Silk. He did LSG. And my friend Billy Lawrence. I don't know if you heard of Billy Lawrence, but Billy Lawrence was an incredible singer, writer on Elektra back in the days with Sylvia Rome. Anyway, these are all the people that I was working with, and I brought together to work on this Shades album. But Shannon was incredible. Like her writing was incredible, but she just had melodies and everything, but I needed somebody to bring those melodies to light. And that's why I looked to Delight for. And he brought out the melodies to her songs. But it was really her work ethic and who she was as a person that really, I gravitated to that. And we still work together today. This is 95, this is 2000, this is 2021. And we've been working together since then. We started a independent label and we put an artist out by the name of Link. Actually, I'm gonna send him your way as well. He's an incredible artist. He's an incredible artist. He wrote the song, him and Delight wrote the song My Body for LSG. They wrote that song. He's in the hook. You can hear his voice in the hook. Yeah, because it was his song at first, but they sold the song to LSG, which was a major, big record for them. So we put his album out, I want to say 2007 or something like that. And then we put another album out, project out a few years after that, called The Goonies. Sorry, bro. I'm sorry.
Yes, man.
So so we put The Goonies out, and then we started working on a food show called PreGame Meal. And that basically was us talking to athletes about what their pregame was. What did you do? What did you do to start your day this morning? That's your pregame. How did you get yourself to get out and get going? What fuels your body? So we had a talk show up in Boston, and it was pretty good. It was pretty good. We did a couple episodes of that. But then we started talking about what's next. And so her husband is Ray Allen, and they're
The NBA
2000, NBA star Ray Allen, all-time leading 3-point shooter, two-time NBA winner, also gold medal winner. It's a great guy. So their son, Walker, which is their middle child, second son, he came down with type 1 diabetes during the NBA finals.
Wow.
They were playing against I think the Lakers at that time. Anyway, so he came down with type 1 diabetes, and that changed her life. So one day she's on the way somewhere, and the boys in the car. She had 2 sons in the car, but Walker's levels were low and he needed some food. So she drives around looking for food and she couldn't find anywhere. Everything is like McDonald's, Taco Bell, but you got a son with type 1 diabetes. You don't want to feed your son that. Like, that's not food. Like, so she went to a restaurant where they made her some food and she took it home and she was just terribly upset by that. So from that point, we started talking about starting a restaurant. And that's what we have now. It's called our restaurant is called Grown. It's an organic fast food restaurant where it has a drive-through. You can walk up and get a real meal for a reasonable price for the most part. But it's real food, and every single ingredient we use is organic. We have a drive-through. We make all of our sauces, dressings, marinades, and sauces, so it's really fresh. And we opened, I want to say five years ago now, or going on 5 years in March. It'll be 5 years in March, and it's doing pretty good. We opened one in Connecticut. We opened one in Orlando. We have a location in Hard Rock Stadium where the Dolphins play at.
Wow.
Right now we have our South Miami location, and we're looking to open another location on South Beach in the next couple of months. But since COVID, we had to close 2 of the stores.
Okay.
So, which is fine.
And so I guess finally, so you're no longer working with the adults and the kids. So this is where you're investing a lot.
This is where I'm at now. Yeah. So I did that, maybe 7 years ago, maybe. But I've been here for 6 years, and I came to Florida just for that to open Grown.
Okay.
Yeah, down here in sunny Miami.
Yeah.
The sun's going down now.
Yeah, the sun's good.